Hey guys, so today we're going to be working on the disc brake system of my bike. So as you can see, the master cylinder is new. However, the caliper is old as the bike, so almost 18 years now. It's not performing well. I know you can service it, but I'm tired. It's difficult to find spare parts and stuff. So I'm changing it to the new one, which is from Bibli. So before we get started, it's important to have all the right spares, right? So your caliper, like I said, it's Bibli. This is like the latest caliper that RE makes for their bikes. It fits my bike. Then it's also important to change your disc hose as well. It's exactly 18 years now. I should have changed it every 4 years, but this is what it is. And finally, I'll be changing the speedometer cable as well. So let's get started on that. In order to do this exercise, you need like a waste bottle with a tube, right? And I'll show you how that goes. Some of you will know. I'll show you how to set that up. Okay, to start with, we have to first open the master cylinder cap. So make sure you have a good screwdriver. Okay, make sure there's enough grip and stuff, and then open that up. Okay, so we're getting the cap open. Make sure you don't drop these. We don't want any sand or anything to get in it, dust, right? And make sure that your master cylinder is leveled so that when you open it, no oil spills out. Leveled, right? Let me show that to you properly. Yep, so it should be leveled. So once we have that, we can just keep that on top. Okay, and then we'll move to the other side of the motorcycle and we'll see how we can keep working. Okay, so now we're just going to empty the system of all the oil that is in the master cylinder and the caliper and the tube, right, in the hose. So we don't need to be too careful. As you can see, everything is pretty old, rusty and stuff. So what you do is you insert, what you do is you take so this caliper requires an 8 mm to open the bleed valve. So you put that on top, put the tube over that, right, and yeah, so you just open the valve. Be careful, don't spill anything. So just that much should do. We don't need to be too careful. As you can already see, oil is oozing out, right? So at this point, I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to squeeze the brake valve. As you can see, oil will start coming out. We want to empty the system of all the oil because we're going to change the tube as well, or the hose. So let me do that and then we'll continue. Most of the oil is out of the system. Okay, so most of the oil is out of the system. I've cleaned the master cylinder as well. The piston doesn't need replacing at the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to undo the hose bolts as well, the banjo bolts for the hose, and we'll remove that. So be careful to avoid any drippage or spillage. Brake fluid is highly corrosive. It will strip the paint on your bike, so be careful of that. I've undone the banjo bolt on top. I'm going to do it on the bottom here. Okay. Make sure you have good span or good grip. You don't want to suffer later. You need to be a little careful of this because all the extra oil will drip out from the hose. Likely to cause a mess, so be careful about that. As long as you take precautions, you'll be fine. The good thing is, since brake fluid is it attracts water, you can actually clean it with water. You can just rinse your cloth with water or whatever and you'll be good to go. So what I meant to say was, it is hydrophilic. It does attract moisture. See, all I'm using is a wet cloth. The system that came on the bike was made by Pricol. It's completely different to the Vibri stuff that Ari is using now, including the mounting points for the disc pads. So these had a dust cap, and once you open the dust cap, you will have access. So looks like I may not have access. The screw is pretty rusted in. Okay, let's leave it at that. So now we have to undo these two bolts, right, and open the caliper. We can leave the hose like that for a while. Just make sure you clean out all the excess drippage and stuff. Okay, these are size 13s. So let me undo that and then we'll try to open the caliper out. Caliper may be held on a little tight because I was having issues with the front wheel being super tight and stuff. So that's the reason why I'm changing the entire system. I mean, if you're a little bit mechanically inclined, for the lack of a better word, you can do this pretty fast. Okay guys, time to pull the caliper off. As you can see, it's pretty tight on there, so I'll have to figure out a way that I can do that. Maybe use a screwdriver and nudge it out. So let me do that and then we'll move on to the next part. Be careful not to damage anything when you're doing this. Since I'm changing the caliper, I'm being a little rough, but be careful. There we go, caliper is out. Right, time to discard this and change it to a new caliper. So let me do that. Okay guys, so we have the caliper off. It's time to now clean the surfaces. Disc is still in good shape, no major issues with that. Let's clean and prepare to fix the new caliper. So let me do that and then we'll continue. Okay, so like I showed you guys in the beginning, we're putting Vibri caliper, brand new. Right, this is a bleed valve. This is where the hose goes on. You can see new disc pads and stuff. So this one is a little different compared to the Pricol. There's only one pin. You remove this and then the disc pads come out. So let me fix this and then we'll continue. As you can see, the mounting is the same, so you won't have any issues with that. It's compatible with the old Thunderbird models and the Machismo models. So gently thread it through and fix it so that we can tighten it up. So one thing to note, in the Pricol caliper, the bleed valve was 8 mm. I think it's 10 mm in this. I need to check. We'll open that. Okay, it's 11 mm. Right, 11 mm. So the mounting points are the same like I mentioned. Let's tighten this up and then we'll look at how we can install the hose. As you can see, there's no resistance when threading the bolts through, so be careful of that. Now I'm pretty sure there is a torque spec for each. Like we've discussed before, we don't use torque wrench because many mechanics have handled the motorcycle. We don't know what kind of torque they would have given by hand, so we need to be careful of that. Also, you can put thread locker on here, some Loctite, red Loctite. I don't have any at hand, so I'm not doing that, but you should do that if you have it, or you should get it done in the near future. Right. Okay. So at this point we have a new hose. It is compatible with my bike. So that's the part number. Right, that's the, you can see the price as well. So that's the part number, which is compatible with Thunderbird models, twin spark as well as LB models. Right, let's see how we can install. So they come with these little protector caps. Don't remove them yet. We'll remove them when we are threading the hose onto the bike itself. So there are 3 little rubber holders that you can see. So we have to make sure that these come towards the bottom of the motorcycle, like this. Like this. Okay, because there is a holder or a hose clamp that you need to insert it into. So let me install the cable or the hose and then we'll continue. Okay, so locating the hose is not that difficult, right? You just pass it on through the triple clamp there, right? And there should be one clamp here, hose clamp. It's not there, I'll buy one and put. Okay, and then there's another one here. All you do is just insert it into that, and then you see the length is just perfect for it to be attached here. So let me do that. I will do that, and then we can continue. See, it just fixes on there like that. Okay. So one good thing is the hose actually comes with the banjo bolt and the washers as well. So we can install new ones. You don't have to install old ones. At this moment, we are just threading it through. We're not tightening anything, not even hand tight. I'm just threading it through so that we know how the cable will be fixed. So let me go to the other side of the motorcycle on top. I will fix it and then we'll continue. Okay, so I've installed or threaded the bolts through on both sides, size 12. Right, at this time, just hold it in place and tighten. We can make sure that get a proper seal. And that you don't have any leaks. Yep, that's good to go. Don't over tighten, strip the threads. So that's more than enough. We have enough clearance for the bleed valve to be opened and to feed the new oil through as well. So I'll go on top, I'll tighten that and we'll continue. Okay guys, so at this point in time, we're back at the top. I've tightened this banjo bolt as well. As you can see, the oil is completely drained. Just a little few drops here and there. I'll clean that out as well, and we will proceed to pour in fresh oil. Always make sure you use a brand new bottle of oil. So this motorcycle takes dot 3 or dot 4. Dot 4 is a little better, so we'll go with that. As you can see, brand new. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make 2 holes. Okay, to avoid spillage. Now what we can do is we'll start feeding the oil. It will take us a while till we get pressure. Okay, so we start depressing the lever. We want the oil to flow through the system. As you can see, the bubbles are forming on top. Sorry guys if my angles are not that great. We're trying the best to give you the best angle possible. So all I'm doing right now is depressing the lever, get all the air bubbles out of the system. Simultaneously, what we need to do is, once you get a little pressure, we will need to bleed the system to get all the air bubbles out. It will take some time guys, since literally everything is new. So let me do that, and then once we get some pressure, I'll show you what's the next step.